Hey, welcome to another edition of Strategic Moves with Lou. I'm Mike Hendren, a licensed real estate agent with Strategic Realty here in Wichita Falls, Texas. And seated down the way from me here is Lou Italis, the owner-broker of Strategic Realty.
Hey.
And joining us on the show today, a very special guest, T.C. Sanders from Union Square Credit Union. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, guys. Thanks for having me on the show today.
Oh, it's just a pleasure.
Yeah. Little short notice, but you made it work.
I made it work. I made it work.
Kind of last minute guest, I guess. But anyway, TC, let's start off talking a little bit about you and your role in the industry, what you do, and how you got into this.
Sure. Of course, my name is TC Sanders. I am a residential mortgage loan officer with Union Square Credit Union here in Wichita Falls. And I've been in this industry and this business for almost right at 16, 17 years.
Oh wow.
It's been a while.
A day or two. Yeah, you got a little experience under your belt there, yeah.
Just
a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything. Been residential industry, been in the commercial industry. I started out as a broker with Supreme Lending a long time ago.
Oh my gosh, one of the nightmare ones.
Yeah, and the Blue Bank building, and have made my round of banks and made Union Square my home. So I love this business. I love this industry. I love working with people. I love seeing people get into their first homes or into their second homes or build their dream home. So
yeah,
I'm definitely a people's person. That's why I do what I do every day.
And you really do to do what we do, to do what you do. You really do have to be able to interact with people, and
Sure.
on a very personal level. I mean, you get to,
because you're getting their most personal information.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
are. Yeah,
you
you're
really
finding
are.
out about you finding out everything about them. You're finding out about their history and the mistakes they've made, the way and you get to help them kind of clean up some of the things they've done in the past. And what's on paper is not who you are.
Right.
Sometimes it's a complicated process to go through, but it is a process one way, complicated or uncomplicated. It's a process one way or another. And we say this a lot on this show. Hiring a real estate professional to help you means you're not having to navigate this by yourself.
Correct.
There's so many I's to dot, so many T's to cross. There's so many things you got to do. And having someone there to help you and guide you and walk you through the process is very important. And you do that as well. I mean, you're guiding them through this, helping them navigate this process of getting this mortgage and getting into this home. I mean, it is sometimes it's a lot of work, you know.
And choosing the right bank is usually that's a key formula, because I mean you can choose a real estate agent, you can choose your lender, and if you choose the wrong ones, that can determine whether this is a smooth transaction or not. And there's so much I know that there are so many people that are so stressed out about getting a loan and getting a house, and it becomes cumbersome. Just the idea of giving all that personal information tends to make people a little squirrely. So, having that level of confidence that the information is going to be, between professionals is pretty important.
Well, so much of what you do, TC, what we do, it's about relationship building.
That is exactly right.
And you really have to build those relationships, and that's how you build the trust comes in that relationship building process. That's where you start to gain that trust.
And you're in a unique position right now to be with Union Square, which is one of our local.
Yes.
Whenever we talk to our clients and they say, well, who do I go to? Well, I always say, go local, because going local, for a variety of reasons, you have somebody in person that you can talk to, that you can go to anytime there's an issue, or you're not talking to somebody over in California or in New York or something like that. You're talking to somebody here locally, and you're supporting your community, because obviously people at Union Square work here and live here, and so that's a big important thing for us too.
Very much.
And the rates that they can get, the rates that they can get here locally seem to be very competitive.
I would say that
to what I'm seeing on the outside.
I would say as a local lender, we are very competitive compared to what you're going to see nationally or even
right.
statewide.
You guys
as
do a
far
lot
as
of
the bank.
in-house too, right?
We do a lot of in-house. We do a lot of secondary market, and that's why we pride ourselves there here at Union Square is that our products, even with our portfolio, which is our in-house loans that stay with us. A lot of people, they don't want their information sold to a big bank.
Exactly.
They don't want to have to mail off their statements to someone. They don't want to have to call California, New York, or even Austin to talk to someone about servicing their loans. They want their loans to stay with someone here that's in Wichita Falls, so they can just pick up the phone and call or send an email to, or even walk into our branch, one of our branches, and talk to. And that's what we pride ourselves about. Are 100% of our loans done with us in-house? No, it's not, but that is the goal eventually. Eventually, we want to service about 90% of our loans, but at this time right now, we just don't have the ability to do that. But those that we do.
Yeah, it takes funding. So
it does take funding, but those that we do service, I think we do an exceptional job in servicing our clients and our people. Trust me, they walk in every day.
You guys are actually you're wrapping up construction on a new mortgage loan.
That is correct.
Facility right behind your Kemp Street location.
Right. Yes, sir.
And that right there, I mean, that speaks volumes. That tells me your business is growing. That tells me that you're expanding to a point where you've got to have that extra footprint, that extra space to operate in, because more and more people are attracted to the products you offer.
And that's just going to be a mortgage.
That is 100% mortgage. That is 100% mortgage. And we are excited about that new facility, that building. We believe that it's going to open up around that July mark. You know, commercial building, it doesn't go on time the way you think it should most of the time. You know,
well, and right now with supply and demand,
and
labor issues, and I mean, it's just we do buildings, we do the new builds over there off of Northwest Drive, and it's,
correct.
You know, we like to say that we can do these builds in 16 weeks or less. But the next two that we're doing, we're pushing that 16-week, like within the next couple of days. I think we meet our 16-week mark.
Yeah.
So we're not going to be able to close until next week. So we're just going to go over that 16-week mark a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we see, and it's not because of us. It's mainly because either supply wasn't there, or it was a labor shortage from the subcontractors, or
Well, of course, kind of what we're seeing here now, but we're on the other side of that now. I think we're at the point now that
just doing the finish out.
We're doing the finish out. We're waiting for furniture. You know, furniture is a big piece of it.
That's another supply.
That's another supply issue. And then once the furniture is in, and then we'll start seeing the concrete poured, and everyone is going to get excited again. And the thing about that building that we like to brag on is when it's open and everyone gets to come in and see it, is that not only do we have space for all of our talent that we have with Union Square, we have room to grow, room to expand, and then we also have this neat thing called the community room. And that's a room that is actually built for the community, our community in Wichita Falls.
Oh,
that we can actually host events not only for our real estate partners, our title partners, but also just for people in the community.
And wow, so they can have like a little event room.
And they can have an event room there. And our technology is superb. It is outstanding.
Everything's going paperless?
For the most part, it is paperless. But for some of us who are kind of old school, who like our paper, we're still gonna be paper. But yes, that is the goal: is to be paperless.
I'm guilty. I have the hardest time throwing documents into the shred box.
It's tough.
I just do, because I feel like, okay, I know I've scanned it. I know I've got it saved in like 7 different places. It's on the hard drive. It's on the backup drive. It's on the backup to the backup drive.
Right.
But I'm scared to death I'm going to need that piece of paper. It is so hard to let go of, especially when you come from that era that we come from, where
you didn't have electronics,
you know,
right, exactly.
I mean, I still have a 6-drawer file cabinet in my office at home. You know, I still do, and I still use it. I just can't let go of some of that stuff.
Well, last night I watched that movie Transcendence with
oh wow, yeah,
Johnny Depp and I can't remember who the other actor was. The guy from
I don't think it was Amber.
Nope.
Okay.
No, but it was like seriously like that. Like all of a sudden the world turned off at the end. No electronics whatsoever.
Well, I guess the one thing that's on a lot of on everyone's mind, especially if you're in the market to buy a home right now, it's interest rates. And everybody's looking at what's happening with the Fed and all this discussion about, maybe as many as 6 rate hikes or 7 rate hikes this year or whatever.
TC's got some good news today.
I was going to say, I hope you come to us with encouraging words on that front.
Yeah.
I want to preface, before we start, I want to preface with this. To me, I don't think things have slowed down all that much.
No.
I still got people calling, inquiring about houses.
One of my clients said that down in the Fort Worth area, it slowed down and the market's starting to go down.
Yeah.
The prices are starting to go down. And I'm like, we're not feeling that here.
Yeah. But we didn't go as high as they did either. I mean, things here stayed.
They always kind of just
within a
healthy margin.
A comfortable range. I think that's a good word to use, a comfortable range. Whereas in larger markets, you get down in the Metroplex, millions of people, San Antonio, millions of people, El Paso, 1.5 million, 2 million people. You get into these very large markets, and they saw huge run-ups in prices that we didn't see here necessarily.
I think we saw about 30% increase in market value.
Yeah, and Austin, we won't even talk about Austin.
Oh, well, Austin was like at least 100%.
Was that a bad number, though, for us, 30% increase?
No,
I don't think so.
That was pretty. Right? I think it was necessary. Like, we spent 9, 10, 11, and most of 12, I think.
We were kind of in this, we were in this little bubble wrap. We were in this bubble wrap. We were
almost like going down a little bit.
Yes.
And so I think we're still kind of recuperating.
We were poised for some increases. Yeah. We really were. Right. Well, what good news do you bring us today?
Well, I guess we can call it good news is that you mentioned it earlier that the Fed did announce that they're going to have numerous rate hikes.
Yes.
And a lot of people were confused by that language. They were thinking that, man, rate hikes, they say they tie us to the Fed, that if the Fed increases their interest rates, then mortgage rates are going to go up and coincide with that. But really, that is not the case. The Fed is actually doing my industry, the mortgage industry, a favor. So for us, our rates are determined by what is called mortgage-backed securities.
Right.
So whenever the Fed says we're going to hike or increase interest rates, what they're trying to do is they're trying to fight against inflation.
Right.
Now, the unfortunate thing is that the Fed kind of acted a little too late when they did that. Of course, we all know.
Inflation, yeah.
Inflation, I think the numbers just came back. It's like over 8%. So now the Fed is trying to do their part by trying to flatten that curve. Is it too late? Yes, it is. But the fact that they're doing something, we're happy about it. What that's going to do is what we've seen today is, mortgage-backed securities, we're actually in the green versus the red, which is a good thing for us. So that means that today might be a great day to lock in interest rates if you can. Of course, today being Thursday, I'm not sure when we're going to air.
Saturday.
On Saturday. So, unfortunately on Saturday, we're going to be floating because we can't do anything over the weekend. But, if you're, with most of my clients.
Hopefully Monday it's not doing too bad.
Exactly. But for most of my customers today, for those who are on the fence, hey, we're looking at today may be not a bad day to lock in your rate. We've seen rates as high as 6%. And for some people who have been in this industry a long time, that's still not a bad rate. We just got spoiled. We just got spoiled.
2% interest was just
2.5%, 3%.
Yeah.
Oh man!
And the thing about it wasn't even out there that long. It was just a little short span.
Yeah.
But us being the society that we are, whenever we see something, we get happy about it and we want it. And we want it now. And
all that shiny stuff.
Yeah, the shiny stuff.
Like I always go back to they need to start doing a federal sales tax.
You think so?
Instead of income tax.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because we as Americans and we're consumers.
Right.
The majority, everybody consumes, from the poorest person in the world to the richest person in the world. We're consumers.
It's funny you say that because we're recording this on a Thursday, And TC, I host a morning radio talk show
Right.
on News Talk 96.3 FM and 1290 AM 5 days a week. And on this morning show, we were talking about that very thing. That subject came up about taxation and the benefits of what we call what's been dubbed the fair tax, which is a national sales tax or consumption tax, as some people call it. The benefits of that over a federal income tax.
Yeah.
If you could
It's
pocket
punitive. For me, income tax is punitive.
well,
Right.
the more you make, the more they take. It punishes success. It is a regressive thing, and it punishes success. And so the benefit of a fair tax over an income tax is you would get to keep 100% of your income. What you pay in taxes will be dictated by what you're willing to spend, by what you're able to spend. And I've mentioned this before, but I'm going to mention real quick here. There's a really good book out there that Neil Boritz, he's a retired radio talk show host. Neil co-authored a book called The Fair Tax Book, probably 22, 23 years ago. And you can get it on Amazon. The paperback copy is dirt cheap now. You can get the digital copy if you prefer that, the audio copy. But there's it's called The Fair Tax Book, and it's a really good read on this, and it really lays out the case for how it would be implemented and how it would work, the way, and it's something we would have to transition into, certainly, over a period of time.
Yeah.
You couldn't just scrap what we've got and jump right into that. You'd train wreck things. But over a period of, say, maybe a decade, we could transition, or even less, we could transition into this. And I think it would help our industry. I think it would help I think it would help. I think it would benefit everybody.
Yeah.
If you make
the only ones that it would hurt would be the IRS, but then we could move them over to the sales tax division, and then
and the way it would work
for the labor.
Right, the way it would work is you've already got sales tax collection entities in every state.
Every state, yeah.
The comptroller.
Yeah.
You let the comptrollers of each state have the responsibility of collecting that and then distributing that money up to the federal level. And
we could probably solve the national debt.
But you understand,
just a couple of years.
But you guys understand that transition is so hard.
It is.
Yeah.
Transition is hard. It's not an easy thing.
It might take us decades to do it.
And I don't even. And we live in a political society as well. So anytime you mention
every
transition,
4 years, somebody is going to change.
Exactly.
I almost said a bad word.
Exactly. Yeah. No, you don't say that word.
we could do a whole show right here on this.
Right.
But the fact of the matter is, there are things that could change that would greatly benefit the consumer side, the lender side, the real estate agent side, the broker side, everybody's side. Everyone could benefit from this in some way or another.
We've already got the state sale tax, and then we also got property taxes. And so it would just make sense to have a federal sales tax, even if it's just 1% to start, and then incrementally increase it a little bit over time.
Well, I think,
until it's commensurate to where they want to be at.
Yeah. Well, real quick, I want to go back to the whole local aspect of what you guys do.
Yeah.
One of the reasons I do business with Union Square is that local feel. I walk in the door over there, and half a dozen people know me by name. They call me by name. They know who I am. I've done business with you long enough now that people now know me. I know them, and there's a relationship. We talked about the relationship building aspect of this. That relationship is there, and you feel like you're really dealing with people that care about you. Being able to, going back to the mortgage side, being able to walk into your office and look at someone face to face and have that one-on-one conversation with you or one of the other folks in that division I think is vital, especially if you really want that interpersonal relationship. If you're fine dealing with some guy on the telephone from 2,000 miles away, okay, that's great. And I'm not knocking those guys. But I do think having those local personal relationships with your lenders, I think that is a really important thing if you can do it.
For our generation, it is very key. We are used to we like things that are tangible.
Instantly.
We do.
And we like to touch, feel, see, smell, hear who we're talking to. Versus someone in my son's generation, they're okay with pulling out their phone and doing a transaction and never seeing the person that they're communicating with, and I think we are the best of both worlds. We are tangible. You can see us. You can talk to us. You can email us. You can even Zoom me if you can't come into my office.
I think that they're going to learn their lesson though, because I've been around long enough now and dealt with multiple banks. all over the state and all over the United States, to where I know the difference between USA, let's say USA or Quicken Loans or something like that, to a
Right.
local lender. And yeah, so I can probably get instant access to it right here. Submit an application and bam, I get a yes. But then 30 days later, I wind up with a no. So I just wasted 30 days.
Right. Yeah. Time,
And
which
all
is
of
valuable. Valuable time.
all the stress that it put me through, because I had to provide a million documents and a million disclosures and letters of explanation and
Right.
all kinds of goobly-gack. And
Right.
and then I turn around and I use a local lender anyway, because now my real estate agent is saying, well, just go with this person, and it takes another 30 days to deal with a person inside. So, or on site.
And we see that a lot.
Yeah,
I mean, not
it's
a lot, but we do see that.
more
We
common
see
than-
fallout. We
yeah.
see fallout from your bigger lenders. Are we perfect? No. Union Square is not a perfect lending company.
Yeah, but you're going to
know.
be more. I
Right.
feel like a local lender is going to be more accurate to that. Yes,
Right.
like maybe I got to know because it's just not possible in 30 days, and so getting that yes at the beginning really did me no service.
Right.
Did me a disservice.
Well,
And-
I
and
think
so
really,
if I'd gone to somebody locally and gotten that yes or gotten that no,
And how we
let's wait for in 3 months. You need to do X, Y, Z, and then in 3 months we can revisit.
And
You know,
the best way to do that is how quickly can my file get in front of the person who's going to make that decision, and
That's
that's
right.
our local underwriter.
that's
Right.
right.
And how quickly can we do that? Our goal is to make sure that it is in front of our underwriting department's face within 10 days. We want to make sure from the time that you have that contract, because a lot of times your contract has some kind of addendum in there that they want to see financing secure by so many days.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And-
Usually it's like a 15-day. Yeah.
15
Yeah,
days.
15 or 21 or something like that,
Yeah.
to get that final approval.
To
Yeah.
get that final approval. I don't know if many people really hold that lender to that standard to make sure that, hey, do we have a conditional approval? Do we have something back from
That's
the
right.
underwriter to show that we've met our contract obligation?
That's right.
I don't think that we've ever really explained that process to our listeners. Okay, so you are a mortgage processor. A loan originator.
Originator.
So basically, your job is to just collect the data,
Correct.
and then you enter it into a system that gives you a conditional approval.
Correct.
And that's where we
An
get our
automated underwriter
pre-qualification.
system that tells us, yes, they are approved and they're eligible
They're eligible,
to
yeah.
meet Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac or FHA or VA
Or the in-house,
guidelines.
yeah, or the
Or our
in-house one.
portfolio in guidelines. Correct.
So once that happens, though, then they go into the underwriting
The
process,
underwriting
and they go
process.
to a loan. What's the word? I've already forgotten it. I was looking into it the other day. An underwriter. That's what they
Well,
call
they
it,
go
right?
to an underwriter, and that
Yeah,
underwriter's job
loan
is just to
underwriter.
verify that the income source is correct,
and they
that
do all of the background
Right,
stuff, and
correct.
they collect all the you collected the data, but they verify the data.
they
Right.
verify everything that we submit. That is correct.
and then once they verify the data, they give you the final approval.
They gave us a conditional approval that says, hey, based off the information that they gave us and everything we've researched and done, this person can have the ability to repay this loan. That's what it's all about in today's industry, is that they have the ability to repay.
And a very important thing here is once you started this process and you're headed to that underwriter and all this, don't make any
No
substantive
purchases.
changes
Please
to
don't.
your income. If your income goes up, I guess that's a positive.
That's a
thing.
great thing.
That's a great
That's
thing.
good thing.
Yeah.
But you don't want to quit your job. You don't want to get demoted.
You don't want to change
Don't
jobs.
You don't want
quit.
to change jobs.
Don't
and-
change
and
jobs.
you don't want to go out and buy furniture. I know it's tempting. You're buying
Yeah.
a house.
Not even a washer and dryer.
No,
Yeah.
because
No.
we're going to do a
Don't
10-day soft pull
anything.
before we close.
Yeah.
And if there's any
Yeah.
changes, we've seen it happen.
Yeah.
You know, you increase your
Debt
your
to-
debt,
yeah.
Right.
your liabilities.
Yeah,
and
you want-
increase
want-
your debt. That's not a bad. That's not
I've
a good
always
thing.
tell them no more than a stick of gum.
Not even that. Sometimes we just tell people just to
Don't use your credit card.
If
Don't
you
just
can't,
let it-
if you can't pay cash for it, don't do it.
yeah.
don't do it. You know, just stay still for 30
Yeah.
days.
Yeah.
Just do nothing until the
Yeah.
transaction is over with.
Fight the consumerism.
Oh,
Exactly.
and
And
that's-
that's hard. And that's hard for some people to do, especially if it's on sale.
All
Yeah.
that temptation
and
is
they're
in
planning
front of you all
on
the
moving
time.
into a new house, and they want to go get curtains, and they want to go.
Yeah, don't do that. Do not do
Exactly.
that.
So, and that's why I say it's, again, going back to the original question was, we want to make sure that file is touched by the underwriter so that we know that you have a deal.
And
Right.
how long does that usually take for your guys'
It's,
bank?
Within the 10
within that 10-day
within the
period?
first 10-day period.
Okay.
And it's even sooner than that. So as soon as that customer gets their loan disclosures and they sign them right away, which is a e-docs, then we can get them in front of our underwriter even quicker.
Wow.
So we
And
want that.
you really want to get in order to. All right, so you give them the pre-qualification. How long is the process between the loan pre-qualification and
From contract to closing is
okay?
a 30-day
So
period.
you once you get the pre-qual, you're just waiting for a contract at that
We're waiting
point.
for a contract at
Then
that
once
point.
you get the contract, then you send it to the underwriter.
You got it.
Okay.
You got it. You got it.
All right.
And then after the underwriter touches it and gives it the conditional approval, how do they get the final approval?
Then at that point, we're just waiting on things like title to come back, survey
Okay.
to come back. If there's a survey, we're waiting on the appraisal, which, things that are not really in our control as far as timing.
Gotcha.
But as soon as those things come back, then we can submit for final approval.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's when we get our clear to close and everyone's at the title company taking pictures and putting it on social media.
We bought a house. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I think one of the things that we can do as agents is, and I do this, encourage my buyers to look at local lenders, look at you guys, and take a look at keeping your business at home, in town, in house if possible. Look at the local guys. I mean, we talk all the time about shopping local. You shop local for clothes and shoes and cars. Shop local for your mortgage too.
Mm-hmm.
I
And
think
you can
that's
shop
very
at any
important.
time. I have people, our technology is so sophisticated. I get applications at 2:00 in the morning.
I bet you
And
do.
They
normally-
do have apps, and they do have everything
Yeah.
that you can possibly get from even at some of the online lenders and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And here's the thing that people start getting a little bit confused with: the rates that they can usually get quoted from either
Right.
Quicken Loan or USAA or Chase or Wells Fargo or whichever lender you're going to. If they're giving you a low rate, like a stupid low rate, it's usually going to cost you
That's right.
Right.
points. And
That is correct.
this is a word that most people don't understand.
Right.
It's gonna cost you points, and mainly that
That's right.
means that they're charging you a big fee,
Right.
usually like $5,000, $6,000, in order to drop the interest rate to that rate.
Right.
Right. That is correct.
So just because they're quoting you a 3.5 or a 4.5 or whatever cheap rate that you have seen, there's always a small print to read.
There's a catch to
There's
it.
a catch to it.
It's too good to be true.
Right, exactly. So that's one of the reasons also why I suggest everybody go local, because you guys don't have huge fees for your loan origination, because that's also how they get you. They get you with the loan origination fee, which can be up to 1% of the
correct.
sales price.
That's right. That's right.
And that's a pretty big number. If you're buying a $180,000 house,
That's right.
that's that's $1,800. So that's $1,800 just to process your loan. Locally, most loan origination fees are somewhere between $400 to $700, maybe even a little bit less.
Yeah, you're right.
They don't go based off of that 1%. But everybody down in the Dallas area is going to go to that 1%
Right.
because they want to make that money. But
Well.
so your loan origination fee and your points, that's how they're going to get you.
Yeah.
Now, if you go local, their loan origination fee is going to be lower and the points is going to be lower too. So if you do want to shop around, if you do want to get a lower rate, you still can get that lower rate from the local lenders. Just ask them about points.
Well, the first step, obviously,
'Cause you guys
TC
don't
is
usually you guys don't usually shoot that out there to people, right?
No, we don't do that.
Online they do it all the
right.
time. That's like the
Yeah.
way that they hook you, is by giving you those points without you even asking about it. With a local lender, you actually have to ask about it
right.
because they don't want to.
Well, it's clickbait.
Exactly.
If I'm going to advertise a low interest rate, of course, people are going to click on my site immediately.
Right.
And
Yeah.
they're going to call immediately, or you're going to get bombarded. But these tons of phone calls, if you click on that, from lenders all over the nation saying, "Hey, let's get you, pre-qualified," and that's how it happens.
Well, obviously, TC, the first step is to give you a call. How do people reach you?
Well, they can reach me here there at Union Square. They can just call the switchboard 720-8000 or 720-0000, and they can reach out to me.
They can find you on the website.
They can find me on my website, unionsquare.org.
Yep.
If you click on mortgage, you'll see my my beautiful face
Your picture.
pop up on there, and you can just click on get pre-qualified today.
Yeah.
You can also find me on LinkedIn or social media.
Awesome.
I'm kind of everywhere. I Googled myself last night just to see what was going to show up.
I Googled myself and scared myself, actually. Well, if you're looking
Google myself. I don't want to know.
If you're looking to buy or sell a home, I'd love to be your agent. Give me a call. 940-232-3876. 940-232-3876 is the way to get me directly. You can reach the office at
940-689-7900.
And that's strategicrealty.net is the website. So check us out. We want to be your agent. We want to take care of you, whether you're buying or selling. TC, thank you for being here.
Thank you guys so much for inviting me. I appreciate it. We'll have to do it again.
We've got to do it again
absolutely.
soon. Guys, take care. We'll see you down the road.
Toodles.